How many more times will my daughter challenge me?
How many more times will my mom confuse me?
How many more times does she have to come home smelling like smoke?
How many more times do I have to tell my mom to stop smoking in the house?
How many more times do I have to tell her that there's nothing good that ever came from someone who started smoking?
How many more times do I have to hear the same story? I'm old enough, and you're not, so don't question me.
How many more times do I have to tell her, don't do as I do as I say?
How many more times do I need to tell my mom, I need you to set an example for me? It's not a problem. I can quit anytime I want.
How many more times does she have to break curfew before I ground her?
How many more times will I not see my mom at night because I go to bed before she gets home?
How many more sleepless nights will I have to endure waiting up for her to get home?
How many more sleepless nights will I have to wait up worrying I'll get another call from the hospital?
How many more times do I have to smell
How many
alcohol
more times
on
I
her
have to smell
breath
alcohol in her breath when she comes home?
How many more times do I have to tell her that she's hanging out with the wrong crowd?
How many more times do I have to tell my mom to stop going out and spend more time with us?
How many more times will you go out with your friends and avoid me?
How many more evening meetings do you have to go to before I can tell you that I can't handle the cooking and laundry and cleaning? I have schoolwork to get done. You are working late, aren't you?
How many more times do I have to tell her not to get a ride from a friend who's been drinking?
How many more times do I have to worry about getting in a car with my mom because she's driving our family around drunk?
How many more times is she going to drive home drunk?
How many more times do I have to beg her not to drive drunk? You scare me!
How many more times do I have to ground her for her to know that I care?
How many more times do I have to pick up after her for her to know that I care?
How many more times do I have to hug her
How many more
for her
times
to
do I
know
have to
that I
hug
love
her for her
her?
to know that I love her?
How many mornings will she sleep until 1 in the afternoon before I finally realize that something is wrong?
How many more of her hangovers do I have to endure before she realizes that I can't handle the verbal abuse anymore?
How many more times do I have to ask my daughter to get an assessment before she'll finally agree to go? Do I have to drag her there?
How many more times do I have to tell my mom to stop drinking and get some help? Do I have to pour her booze down the drain?
I don't have a problem, I swear. She's the one with the problem.
How many more times do I have to listen to this garbage? Besides, I'm not the one with the problem. She's in denial!
How many more opportunities will be lost for me and my daughter to create memories that will last a lifetime?
How many more opportunities will be lost for me to become close to my mom? We're running out of time.
Where are you going?
What were you doing?
Who are you with?
Were you with friends?
Are their parents going to be
Were
there?
you by
Do
yourself?
they know what's going on?
Where were you going?
What time are you getting home?
Why were you there?
Who's driving?
Were you at another
Is
meeting?
there going to be alcohol there?
Did you
Do
drink?
you know what to do if there is?
Did you drive home like that?
Are you going to be home by curfew?
Why can't you be home with us?
How many more times?
How many more times?
How many more times?
How many more times? How many more times?
How many more DUIs?
How many more tickets?
How many more lonely nights?
How many more sleepless
How many
nights?
more arguments?
How many more fights?
How many more broken promises?
How many more lies?
How many more times?
How many more times?
How many more times?
How many more times? How many more times?
I don't know.
I'm getting tired.
I
I
need
need
help.
help. And I need your help.